I've had a crush on someone for 5 years. When I found out he liked the school's most popular girl, I gave up. I applied to change my seat and stop eating, studying, or walking home with him. Before moving out of town with my mom, I slipped a scarf I'd knitted, but never dared to give him, into the desk of the student sitting in front of him. I thought, hey, you're a good person, take it. I never thought I'd see Felix again. But when we met again, the scarf, which was supposed to be for the person sitting in front of him, was around his neck. When he saw me with the man by my side, his eyes reddened. Have you abandoned me? The day after the big campus event, a huge piece of gossip spread around school. It was about Felix, the school genius, dating Linda, the school beauty queen. As a mutual friend of both, I was swarmed by curious classmates as soon as I returned to school. You guys hang out together all the time. You must know something, right? Looking at their curious, gossip-hungry faces, I felt bitter remembering the video I'd seen recently. If it weren't for Linda collapsing on the track during the 800 meters race and Felix rushing to carry her to the medical room, we might not be in this situation. He was so worried about her and everyone saw it. I realized then that Felix actually liked Linda. I guess I should have realized it sooner. Looking through the classroom window, I've seen the joy in Felix's eyes when he gazes at Linda. How could I have been so slow to realize? Felix and Linda are clearly a match made in heaven, both in terms of family background and appearance. If Felix likes someone, it should be Linda. Maybe spending all these years hanging out with them made me forget that we come from different worlds. My mom worked for Felix's family, which is how I got mixed up with them. But in truth, I never really fit into their circle. Linda's random dress purchases cost as much as my mom's entire month's salary. Felix's shoes never fall under 4 figures. Realizing that, I pushed Felix's birthday gift further into my desk drawer. Feeling down, I thought to myself, I really don't know about their stuff. How can you not know? One person said, slightly annoyed. Others joined in accusingly. You're not trying to cover for them, are you? Come on, don't lie to us. We won't tell the teacher. Exactly, when we saw how worried he was when Linda fell, we knew he had to like her. They kept interrogating me, my desk completely surrounded. This was the first time in 2 years at this school that I'd been given so much attention, but at the moment I hated it. Eventually, I couldn't hold back and snapped. I said, I don't know. Can't you understand that? It was my first time losing my temper, and everyone froze. Someone stepped aside, creating a gap in the crowd. Through it I saw Felix and Linda. I wasn't sure when they came back from the nurse's office, but there they stood, shoulder to shoulder. They looked every bit the perfect couple, drawing attention from classmates in the classroom and hallway. Felix's indifferent eyes locked onto mine. Can I talk to you outside? Without a care for any misconceived notions, he called me out amidst the prying eyes of everyone. There was no reason to worry though. No one would believe in the idea of us being anything more than friends. Why did you let Linda run the 800 meters for you today? Felix's questioning tone carried a hint of reproach, freezing my heart instantly. I told you before, don't compete if you don't want to. But you left without warning, leaving a mess for Linda, and nearly getting her hurt. He blamed me right away. I wanted to tell him it wasn't my choice to sign up. Some prankster put my name down. I wanted to tell him I couldn't run because my mom collapsed, and I spent the day at the hospital with her. I wanted to tell him I didn't ask Linda to fill in. I told the sports captain to find someone else. But when Felix's icy gaze met mine, the urge to explain vanished. He liked Linda. Regardless of my reasons, I did cause trouble indirectly for Linda. Felix knew I didn't intend for it to happen, but he was still upset with me for causing trouble for the girl he liked. So I knew explanations weren't going to calm him. I'm sorry. I lowered my eyes and apologized. Felix frowned. You should apologize to Linda, not me. All right. Maybe my response was too quick, too decisive. It caught him off guard. His frown deepened, and with a conflicted look he hesitated. But in the end only managed an okay. Without looking back at him, I turned and headed to Linda's classroom. Linda, Felix, and I aren't in the same class. During breaks, meals, and the walk home, it's always Linda who comes over to find Felix and me before we hang out together. I never thought much of it before, only seeing us three as close friends. But now I realize I've been the third wheel, getting in the way of their time together. Maybe they'd been annoyed with my lack of awareness for a while. Not knowing before was one thing, but now that I do, There's no way I can keep inserting myself into their lives. For days, I started skipping our rooftop lunch hangouts. After school, I'd find reasons to stay behind and avoid walking home with them. One weekend they invited me to the library, but I didn't go. My sudden avoidance must have been noticeable to Felix. One day, as Linda came over after school, and I mentioned having unfinished practice papers, Felix walked over to my desk. Which papers are unfinished? His pointed question threw me off. I felt guilty as I responded, a lot. How much is a lot? I can't finish writing even after so many days. I'm slow, my brain's a bit slow too. If you can't write, why not come to me? Felix questioned me, one sentence after another, making it hard for me to hide emotions I'd been bottling up for days. Just as I was about to lose it, Linda walked in and interrupted. Felix, what are you doing? You're scaring Clara. Linda held my hand. Let's not write today. It's Felix's birthday. Are you not coming? When she mentioned the birthday, I froze. Felix gave me a chilly stare, as if blaming me for forgetting something so important. Eventually, Linda dragged me along to leave with them. Felix is a rich kid, so he wouldn't have a simple birthday. The three of us arrived at the party, and Felix and Linda were instantly surrounded by people. I instantly disappeared into the crowd, ignored. For the first time, I clearly felt the gap between us. Felix and I met in middle school, and I only met Linda in high school. But she had such a great personality that we clicked instantly. Over time, with her often visiting me, she got to know Felix too. We eventually found out that Linda actually lived in the same neighborhood as Felix. They were neighbors, although they met a bit later. If two people are destined to meet, they'll find each other no matter what. I watched from a distance as Felix and Linda got pushed together by the crowd. Everyone teased them about being a cute couple. Linda flashed a shy smile, and Felix had a slight grin too. Following along today felt pointless. Not having any gifts ready, I quietly left the party. Back home, I crashed early. But in the middle of the night, someone knocked on the door. I thought it was my mom and groggily went to open it. There stood Felix. He looked serious. Why'd you leave without saying anything? I couldn't understand why he sounded upset. Does my presence really matter to him? The class group chat had videos of him having fun at the birthday. What about my birthday gift? He suddenly asked. I remembered the gift I was working on for months, then thought about the expensive scarf Linda got him. I felt embarrassed. It's bad enough we got the same type of gift. Hers was outrageously expensive, mine was cheap. And my scarf was even uglier. I forgot. Didn't get you one. Felix hesitated, about to say something more when footsteps came from the hallway. I took a step back and closed the door. Felix seemed mad about me not getting him a gift, and didn't talk to me for over a week. Maybe he thought I'd apologize first as usual. But this time I didn't. I asked the teacher to change my seat. From sitting in front of Felix, I moved away. Felix never had to move during monthly seat changes due to his special status. Being his good friend, I didn't have to either, so I was always seated in front of him. Me moving away made Felix's face darken with anger. He dragged me to the staircase to question me. I tried to leave, but he pinned me against the wall. While we tussled, Linda walked up and caught us. We weren't doing anything wrong, but the moment Linda looked at us, I felt strangely guilty and embarrassed. Later that day, Linda subtly asked, "Do you also like Felix?" She used also, which was telling. "Clara, you're my best friend. I don't want Felix to come between us, okay?" Linda still sounded like her usual self, but she felt like a stranger. Or maybe I never truly knew her, because the next second, hearing footsteps close in, she suddenly pretended to trip in front of me. Luckily, Felix was there to catch her. She looked at me, it wasn't Clara. We argued, and I just lost my balance. Her words seemed like an explanation, but felt like they were covering something up. From 10 steps away, Felix's look at me was cold and disappointed. He didn't believe me. I felt a weight drag me down. I turned to leave, but Felix, looking unusually stern, caught up and blocked my way. "What's been up with you lately?" She said she lost her balance. "Why, got an issue with me?" "Apologize." He held my wrist tight, hurting me deeply. "You gonna apologize or not?" His icy gaze could pierce straight to my heart. It felt like I couldn't leave without apologizing. After a minute of silence, I had enough, Felix. He frowned. "You're an idiot." He was taken aback, surprised. I shook off his hand and went back to class. That was the boldest thing I ever said to Felix. It was also the last thing I said to him as a student. Because soon after, I moved away with my mom. On the day I left, after some hesitation, I couldn't just throw away the scarf. I snuck back to school and slipped the scarf into Felix's old desk. Left a quick note. I think you're cool. So here it is. I have no clue who'd sit there next. Whether they'd see my note as trash and toss it. But I left my feelings for Felix behind with that scarf. After switching schools, I cut all contact with Felix and changed my number. I was determined to adapt fast, focus on studies, and not let anything distract me during senior year. The heavy workload left me no time to think about the past. 5 years whisked by. I never expected to see Felix again. Until that day when, while delivering files to a client, I got caught in a sudden downpour and ended up stuck at a mountain hotel. I ran into him right in the hotel lobby. Outside, it was a wild storm, noisy and chaotic all around. In that moment, our eyes met across 5 years, and my world went suddenly quiet. I recognized him instantly, and there beside him was Linda. 5 years and they were still together. Though I had expected it, actually seeing it was unbelievable. I desperately hoped they didn't recognize me, because I looked like a mess. And they were all dressed up, surrounded by a crowd of peers, walking in like the stars of the show. A stark contrast to me. From their conversations, it seemed like they were there to have fun. What's up, Felix? Seeing him stand still, someone asked curiously. Felix kept looking at me, his cool eyes flickering like he was holding back some strong feeling. I pretended not to know him and walked past them. Sensing his movement, I quickened my pace, but he grabbed my wrist in the very next second. Leaving without saying a word, his voice shook slightly raspy, questioning. I wanted to pull away, but his grip was strong, refusing to let go. Let go. He frowned, just about to say something when his classmates caught up. Felix, who are you talking to? Run into a friend. Everyone turned their attention to me. Seeing Felix holding my hand, expressions shifted. Some threw glances at Linda. Linda forced a smile. Clara, what are you doing here? And why do you look like that? Under the guise of concern, she subtly separated me from Felix. Once Linda spoke, everyone focused on me. Seeing how drenched I was, wearing clothes that probably didn't cost more than $300, those rich kids were visibly shocked. Someone blurted out, Felix, you know someone like that? Another bluntly, that bag's a knockoff, right? I remember there's only one of that design worldwide. And my brother gave it to his girlfriend. No malice intended, but words like someone like that and knockoff stung. Honestly, I'm not into designer stuff, and didn't mean to buy a knockoff. The bag was a gift from my law firm's boss, costing me half a month's food budget. He said I represented the firm, so I couldn't look shabby meeting clients. I couldn't carry the real thing, so at least this looked decent. But now, taking it out for the first time, I ran into Felix and his crew, and got called out publicly. I felt so embarrassed, I couldn't meet Felix's eyes. He probably thought I was the same embarrassing person as before. Felix, Linda, what's your relationship with her? Felix stared at me briefly, then hesitated. She's Seeing him struggle, I finished for him, high school classmate, not really close. As soon as I said it, his face darkened. Clara, since we've run into each other, join us. Linda suddenly said, warmly pulling my hand. She seemed friendly, but I caught a flash of disdain in her eyes when she touched me. I used to be naive, missing surface details, but now, after my boss's grind at the firm, I saw Linda for what she was, a two-faced person. She wanted to be friends when I was close to Felix. But now, I was of no use, so why this act? No thanks. I pulled my hand away coldly. I'm busy, you guys have fun. Just as I was about to leave, Felix blocked me again. What are you busy with? His questioning tone was so familiar, like 5 years ago, when he asked about my unfinished homework on his birthday. I felt a sudden frustration. My face went cold. None of your business. He paused, then frowned. Clara, 5 years and look at you, not even a hello? You ghosted on us, and I haven't even. Clara, we've always seen you as a friend. I thought you felt the same. But you switched schools without a word. Felix and I were really hurt. Linda hurriedly cut in, fake sadness masking her obvious claim on him. Felix stood by her, saying nothing, showing the same disappointed look as Linda. I was figuring out how to escape them when a familiar voice called out. Clara, over here. The voice was clear, lazy, and truly commanding, with a hint of disdain. Who else but my boss, Nathan? Everyone looked over, seeing Nathan lounging in the hotel entrance. Handsome, but his arrogance was even more striking. Bro, why are you here? It was the girl who doubted my bag's authenticity. Nathan ignored her, instead stepping to me. You a turtle now or what, holding it in? Even pigs have mouths, don't you? His face was a mix of disdain and exasperation. Felix interjected. Who are you to say this to her? I pay her, what do you think? His words were ambiguous. Felix's face changed. So did everyone else's. Nathan's sister suddenly gasped. Bro, is she your girlfriend? Is that bag you bought for her? So she doesn't have a fake bag? I froze. Nathan gave his sister a cool glance. Candy, should I get you a megaphone for your head? You could say it even louder. Nathan's always snappy, even with his sister, so no surprise there. He pulled me away, before I could see the dark look that crossed Felix's eyes. He wanted to come after us, but Linda stopped him. It's my birthday today. Could you not leave? It'd be embarrassing for me. Too many people were stranded on the mountain, and all the hotels were fully booked. I didn't want to stay in a presidential suite, but the hotel front desk had agreed to let me crash in the lobby for the night. I didn't expect Nathan to show up. Once I was in his presidential suite, I finally came to my senses. Boss, what are you doing here? He took off his suit jacket and sat comfortably on the sofa. Can't I be here? If you're already here, why did you make me deliver documents today? Plus, my coworkers at the law firm said he was in court today and wouldn't be done until 4 p.m. I wanted to ask but didn't dare. Nathan is famously sarcastic and loves to criticize people, just like he did earlier. In my 3 months at the firm, he's already insulted me over 30 times, mostly for being dumb. Dumb brain, dumb mouth. I was lost in thought, head down, when suddenly something darkened my vision. Nathan's face appeared right in front of me, startling me. Boss TSK. Nathan stared at me for a few seconds before straightening up. You're not even good looking. How did you end up in such a cheesy love triangle? How do you know about us? Aren't you going to argue with my first comment? Huh. Nathan looked at me frustrated. If someone calls you ugly, shouldn't you talk back? Why are you so calm accepting it? But you're right. Nathan was stunned. Even if it's true, you should talk back. Don't you have any self-respect? Clara, stop overthinking everything. Blame others more, okay? But you're my boss. So what if I'm your boss? I'm your boss, so I can insult you. And he's the guy you like, so he can insult you too. Clara, you always find excuses for your own weakness. A famous person said if you're not arrogant by 20, you have no future. You're already 22. Boss, that same famous person also said if you're still arrogant at 30, you have no future either. Clara, do I look like someone with no future to you? Nathan scoffed. Those sayings are for normal folks like you. But for a genius like me, I can be arrogant whenever I want. Boss, you're unusually vain. Wrong. People without skills are vain. I'm aware of my own abilities. He paused, remembering something, and suddenly got angry. Clara, I'm not 30 yet, don't round up. Sure enough, the rumors at the law firm were true. Ever since Nathan turned 28, he's been sensitive about his age. I'm not sure how Felix got my contact info. I had just showered and was about to sleep when I got a call from him. Are you with your boss now? In just a few hours, he figured out my connection to Nathan, surprising me. But then again, Felix isn't an average guy. His wide network probably made it easy. Got something to say? I'm about to sleep. Clara, I've been thinking about this for years and can't figure it out. Why have you changed? You seem angry with me. And you're cold to Linda too. She was your best friend, wasn't she? Did you forget today's her birthday? I felt my freshly calmed feelings starting to rise again. For some reason, Felix always has a way of stirring my emotions. Whether it's sadness or anger. Maybe it was what Nathan said earlier that affected me. I couldn't help but snap back. Felix, we never were friends. Never. He was silent for a few seconds. Have you always thought this way? Yes. How can two people with an unequal relationship be friends? Back in high school, people joked that I was the lackey of the most popular guy and girl. Felix never denied it, even laughed along. So what was everything we had before? The popular kids and their lackey, you mean? How can you think that? I never saw it like that. Neither did Linda. Well, you sure know Linda well enough to be sure of that. Clara, do you know what you're saying? You left without a word. And for years she's been worried, thinking about you, feeling sad every day. And this is what you say behind her back. TSK. Why haven't you hung up yet? Aren't you disgusted? I'm already annoyed. Nathan, who I didn't realize had entered the room, grabbed my phone. Before hanging up, I faintly heard Felix's anxious voice. Why do I hear a man's voice in your room? Is it Nathan? Aren't you just colleagues? Why are you together this late? Clara. But there was no answer, only hang-up tones. I looked at Nathan, who was just wearing a robe, looking quite open, and hesitated to remind him, boss, shouldn't you wear more clothes? What, don't you like it? Not really, but it's late at night, and we're alone. Clara. Nathan looked at me in disbelief. What's going on in that head of yours? Always thinking about nonsense. No wonder you're just a legal assistant. Boss, I'm a legal assistant because I haven't gotten my attorney's license yet. Plus, I'm young. Nathan clearly couldn't stand any mention of age. His face darkened. After a while, he said quietly, if Clara could use this energy that riles me up against those two jerks tonight, I'd be more pleased. Jerks? I was shocked at how Nathan spoke. He looks so refined, elegant, like a proper gentleman. But every time he talks, it ruins that image of him. Something came into my mind suddenly. Boss, that bag you gave me. What's wrong with it? You saying I charged you too much? I already had someone discount it for me. No room for negotiation. If you don't want it, toss it out, but no refunds. Before I could even say anything, he turned and walked away. It rained all night and hadn't stopped, so we're all stuck here. Nathan seemed super busy, in meetings and on calls since I woke up. I didn't get why someone so busy would randomly come up the mountain last night, only to get stuck here. When I went out to the hotel cafeteria for breakfast, I saw Felix and Linda from afar. As expected, they came up to me. With them were 3 friends, one of whom is Nathan's sister. Can we sit here? Felix asked. As he got closer, I noticed he looked terrible, like he didn't sleep well at all. Could it be because they partied too hard at Linda's birthday last night, and just didn't sleep? Before I could answer, he just sat down next to me. Linda's expression changed slightly, but she quietly sat across from me. Their 3 friends each found a place to sit, looking a bit awkward. I wasn't that hungry anyway, so I picked up my tray to leave when Felix suddenly slammed his chopsticks down. The sound was so loud that everyone stopped and looked at us. His eyes were on me. Do you have to do this? I thought we made everything clear in last night's call. Hearing this, Felix's expression darkened. Linda's face changed too, but she still smiled and said, Felix, I asked you to invite Clara to my birthday last night, and she never showed. Did you forget? She was too busy last night. There was no time to see us. Busy? What's there to do at night? Linda, all these years you've pined for her for nothing. Some people are too cold-hearted to be worried for. They went back and forth in a mocking way. I couldn't care less and got up to leave. Felix looked panicked and stopped his words, grabbing my arm. We need to talk. Talk about what? Clara, come here. Nathan appeared out of nowhere. His commanding tone startled me. I instinctively shook off Felix's hand and walked over to Nathan. Boss. Nathan's lips curled into a friendly smile. What did I tell you last night? Boss, I just think arguing is pointless. Clara, you'll be the death of me. Orphan because you won't listen? Nathan glared at me disappointed. Candy, who had been silently observing, finally chimed in. Bro, why are you here? Business. Don't get too close. Why? You're an eyesore. I resigned myself to another lecture as Nathan led me away. But surprisingly, he just told me to eat up, then get back to work. Even though we're stuck here, we have to make the best of it and work. Got it, Clara? I glanced around the luxury suite, then at Nathan's serious face, and nodded hesitantly. Okay. I added some points to the contract. Go revise it. Sure. I looked over the new demands, hesitating. Boss, won't the client be upset if we hike the price this much? Partnership's a two-way street. If they're not pleased, they can go to someone else. But this lawsuit's tricky. No one else could handle it like I can. Well, confident much. Remember, when you're powerful enough, the world bends to you, Clara. Oh, when you're weak, your silence is seen as dullness. Your peacekeeping is called cowardice. Your kindness comes off as obsequiousness. I understand, boss. Ugh. Your bad temper is just low EQ. The suite offers free hot springs access. Nathan said not to waste it, and made sure I went for a soak. I wasn't in there long before I ran into Linda. But she didn't look like she was here for a bath, more like she followed me. Clara, got a moment for a chat? She had that familiar scheming look, so I eyed her warily. What do you want to talk about? Are you mad at me over the misunderstanding with Felix 5 years ago? The one where I tripped and he got all worried about me. You're overthinking. I've long forgotten about what happened back then. Really? She flashed a sly smile. So, do you still have feelings for Felix? Feelings for Felix? I've asked myself this more than once. Before he came back into my life, I didn't know. But after seeing him again, I think I have an answer. Seems you still do. So you came here on purpose to run into him? Trying to take him from me? For what it's worth, we were best friends. Snatching your friend's boyfriend isn't cool, right? While I zoned out, Linda had concocted a whole story on her own. You won't beat me. Not only have Felix and I been together all this time, but we're also engaged. You were just the maid's daughter at his place, and his mom doesn't like your kind. That's why your mom got kicked out too. My mom got kicked out. I cut in shocked. How do you know? She smiled but didn't answer. Casting a glance around, she suddenly moved to the water's edge to pretend to lose her balance. She took my hand as she fell, making it look like I pushed her. When I heard the splash, I was speechless. Same old tricks. Felix must be nearby. Sure enough, Linda's cries for help brought him rushing over. Felix looked from me on the edge to Linda in the water, utterly shocked. Watching her nearly drown, he jumped in to save her. Since both were set to bathe, they wore little. Water-clad, emerging together, they seemed awfully cozy and intimate. It seemed like Felix didn't realize, or maybe he didn't care about being close with Linda. He glared at me angrily. Clara, I always thought before you were careless, but now I see you're plain mean. Why would you do this to Linda? Even when you're mad, there should be a limit. Felix, no, it's not what you think. Clara didn't push me. I fell in accidentally, Linda tried to explain. You don't have to cover for her. Didn't you see her just standing there, not caring about you at all? Felix retorted. Linda, she's changed. He exclaimed. Ugh. I interrupted impatiently and walked up to them. Yeah, that's right, I did push. Nathan once said if you're going to pull a fast one, do it quickly and accurately, leaving no room for counteraction. So Felix. I kicked Felix hard. His wet clothing made the ground slippery, and he fell right into the water. Linda's eyes widened in shock, and before she could react, I kicked her in two. Look closely this time. It really was me who pushed you. All this commotion finally caught people's attention around us. No one seemed worried about the water or drowning. It was more like, what's this guy doing over on the girl's side? Is this some kind of trashy lover spat? Playing it up like this in public? Felix stood in the water, barely waist deep. His face was full of embarrassment. He'd never been this humiliated in his life. He only managed to glare at me. Clara, well, you're not drowning, so no need to call your dad, I responded. Turns out, it's pretty refreshing to lose it once in a while. I finally get why Nathan's having so much fun, talking back to everyone and everything. He must be loving it. I don't know how Nathan found out about the hot springs incident, but on our way down the mountain, he complimented me for the first time. Clara, I thought you were beyond saving, but it looks like there's still a glimmer of hope. You did well this time. Honestly, I only acted out of frustration and made that rash decision. But now that I'm thinking clearly, I feel intimidated facing Nathan again. Especially when he said he'd give me a reward. No need, boss. Oh, I'll reward you with a few big cases. Enjoy the overtime. Thanks a lot. What, not happy? I'll be working late too. We can suffer through it together. You're upset. Boss, you're working for yourself. I'm working to make money for you. What do you think? Well, aren't you logical? Impressive. But he tends to ignore others' words. I thought after the incident with Felix, he'd be mad and avoid me from now on. But a week after returning to work, I bumped into him near the office. Clara. As he got closer, I noticed the scarf around his neck. The crude needlework on it caught my attention, and I instinctively frowned. It was too familiar. I need to talk to you. I frowned. What, here to argue on behalf of your girlfriend? Forget it, I'm not apologizing. She was never my girlfriend. Never was. I was mildly surprised, unsure of what he was getting at. I'm sorry. It was a misunderstanding. I didn't realize Linda jumped into the hot spring on her own. As he spoke, he took off the scarf and handed it to me. This scarf is yours, isn't it? I've kept it all these years. I don't remember giving it to you. You didn't, but you intended to, right? I was startled that he knew, but the next moment, A sudden burst of anger flared up. So you've always known? His eyes showed a hint of guilt, but he tried to explain. I saw it in your desk once. After you left, it was in the desk in front of mine. Stop talking. My tone was calm, without a trace of emotion. Felix's eyelashes fluttered slightly. Was this the birthday gift you planned for me? Why didn't you give it to me that night? Why do you think? Did you mistakenly believe I was with Linda? I furrowed my brows, holding back my annoyance. He grew anxious. I only recently figured out why you suddenly distanced yourself. I'm sorry, but I was never with Linda. I don't even know why the rumors spread at school. I've always liked you. Enough. I cut him off. He watched me apprehensively. I smirked. Don't act innocent. You were there. You know how many times people teased you about dating Linda. You can't be clueless about that. I just thought everyone was joking. Right, joking. So when people called me you're in Linda's fan club member, sidekick, and servant, was that a joke too? And you laughed along? Felix's face turned pale. It's not like that. Then what was it? Nathan's voice chimed in sarcastically from behind. I turned to see him. Nathan smiled at me. Clara, you're 5 minutes late. There goes your perfect attendance for the month. I took a deep breath and looked back at Felix, the instigator. Felix, with his head down, said, Clara, I'll cover your attendance. My employee, not your concern. Nathan sneered at Felix. LOL dude, your tricks might work on gullible Clara, but they don't cut it with me. Frowning, Felix retorted, our business is none of your concern. Broken rattled much? Feeling guilty? I tugged on Nathan's sleeve, hinting for him to ease up. He shook my hand off. And you really believe he didn't know? Do you think he can't tell that green tea likes him? He knew you and green tea liked him, but he pretended not to. He enjoyed your lonely, humble admiration, while basking in the envy of others, seeing him liked by the campus queen. Guys like him aren't worth it. Nathan kept going, calling Linda green tea, making Felix's face darken. I seriously worried they'd square off right at the office entrance. Seemingly unaware, Nathan patted my shoulder earnestly. Just take all her schemes against you, and he still can't spot her tricks. If he genuinely can't spot green tea, well then leave the guy. Pausing as if something struck him, Nathan added, of course, if he does spot her but keeps playing dumb, then that's all the worse. Boss, you're awesome. I get it. Alright, you guys chat. I'm off to work. You don't have to report to me about where you're going. As soon as Nathan left, Felix seemed to come back to life. He looked at me all lost. Clara, it's not like he said. I didn't know back then. I was only hanging out with Linda, because I thought she was your friend. I was friends with her because of you. Move over. I'm off to work. That time Linda fell down the stairs, I didn't completely believe her. I was just mad because you were ignoring me. So basically, it's everyone else's fault, and you did nothing wrong, right? Yeah, you did nothing wrong. Liking you was my problem. You don't have to be responsible for my feelings, just because I liked you. Clara. His eyes brightened for a second, but I interrupted with a cold face. Felix, I used to like you, but now I don't, and I hope we can part ways peacefully. No way. I don't believe it. Believe it or not. As I was about to leave, his eyes turned red. Are you really giving up on me? Felix, I've given you many chances. Once because I liked him. I let others hurt me over and over again. Now, I don't want to do that to myself anymore. Toss that scarf. It's not yours. Felix turned completely pale. It's hard to tell if Felix and Linda were just that in sync, or if they planned it. In the morning, Felix came to see me. In the afternoon, Linda went to see Nathan. Why would Linda need to see Nathan? Too curious for my good. I worked up the nerve to eavesdrop in the break room. Wouldn't you know, the second I got close, I heard Linda badmouthing me. Clara's really lucky. Even though she's average looking, comes from an average family, and has an average education, she's still got a big name lawyer like you wrapped around her finger. Girl, how old are you? You're already showing your true colors. Like who reincarnated you as a green tea? You. Linda was fuming. Lawyer, you like her? Doesn't that cheapen you? The fact you'd think that way cheapens you. Anyone who likes you must be blind. Nathan really has a sharp tongue. Compared to the way he talks to me, I realize he's been pretty gentle. Just calls me dumb. By the way, if you hadn't egged Felix's mom on to fire Clara's mom and kicked them out of City A, Clara wouldn't have changed schools, and we wouldn't have had our fateful meeting. So really thanks to you, wicked woman. What? My mom leaving her job, and the city was Linda's doing? Looks like you dug up a lot and really like her. But I don't get it. Why you and Felix like her? Is that a consultation? My fees are steep. 10 grand per question. Usually I charge by the second. Consider this a discount. Nathan, are you out of your mind? I was still lost in my thoughts about why my mom quit her job when Linda suddenly opened the door and ran into me. She glared at me and ran off with red eyes. Nathan and I locked eyes in the meeting room. Thinking about how he hadn't denied liking me, I felt a bit guilty. As I was about to slip away, Nathan stopped me. Why are you running? Got some nerve eavesdropping? Boss, I messed up. You got any questions? Yep. He raised an eyebrow. Why'd Linda come to see you? She said you did something. What was it? That's what you're curious about? I nodded. Geez, your brain. What was I expecting? After a pause, he said, annoyed. The thing that happened between you and her at the hot springs? I had my sister record it. I just sent the recording to Felix. I was surprised. How was he able to record so timely? You already knew she'd set me up? How do you know her so well? Pfft, I don't know her well. I just know people who are sneaky. Here he goes bragging again. I hadn't heard from Linda and Felix in a while. I was so busy with work that I almost forgot about them. Then one day, Nathan handed me his phone to watch a video. Turns out, both Felix and Linda's families had arranged their engagement party, but Felix didn't show up. He left a pre-recorded VCR instead. In the video, he seemed drunk, completely dropping his usual reserved facade, openly saying he'd never marry Linda, calling her a wicked woman. Lots of people attended the engagement, and he did that. Linda was utterly humiliated. After the party ended, the two reportedly had a huge fight. The friendship they had since childhood ended with bitterness. On my way home from work, I ran into Felix near my place. I didn't plan to talk to him, but he grabbed my hand. Clara, give me another chance, please. I'll treat you right. I've always liked only you, I swear. I felt a bit exasperated. Felix, like I said, I don't like you. Clara, can't you just try again? A cold voice came from behind. It was Nathan. What are you doing here? Nathan shot me a glance but ignored me, focusing on Felix. She's mine. Hands off. Gotta say, Nathan's pretty intimidating. Felix mellowed out considerably. Nathan pulled me behind him and said, when are you gonna start sticking up for yourself? The way he was glaring, I started to think he wouldn't let me go until I said something. Felix was still staring at me. After a pause, I looked at him seriously. Felix, just leave. I don't want to see you again. Seeing you just makes me sick. Felix turned ghostly pale. The humiliation of being dismissed in front of another man was something he had never experienced. Are you for real? Totally serious. Felix seemed completely defeated. Okay. As soon as the person left, Nathan let out a chuckle. Do you really have to politely say get lost like that? I know my personality isn't the most charming, and a lot of people don't like me. But I can't help it. That's just who I am. What can I do about it? I don't dislike you. Huh. I was surprised and looked at him. He replied seriously, at least I don't dislike you. Why did my heart suddenly start racing? I suddenly remembered something I had ignored before. And without thinking, I blurted out, boss, do you like me? Obviously. How can someone admit they like someone so confidently? And yet I always felt so insecure. Why do you like me? I asked. Like Linda says, I'm worthless. So you believe everything she says? Are you that easily manipulated? He paused, then changed his tone. But I like you just the way you are. Just the way I am. Seeing me look at him, he turned my head away, feeling a bit embarrassed for once. Your personality isn't bad. The world needs some people to be quiet and awkward. Then why do you always want to change me? I don't want to change you. I just hope you won't always put yourself down when things happen. My heart skipped a beat again. I looked up at him. In the dim moonlight, he looked sincere. You can be quiet and withdrawn, but you shouldn't let people push you around. I lost track of how much time had passed. Under the moonlight, I started to speak softly. Boss, you used to always scold me. I kind of have a mental block about it. Should I stop scolding you then? Do you want to think about it? Can I have more time to think? How long are we talking? Not sure. That night, I didn't agree to Nathan's proposal to date. I just graduated, and there's such a gap between our social statuses. I was scared that, just like before, I'd always be looking up to someone else and end up feeling worthless. Boss, I'll work hard to catch up to you. Nathan chuckled, looking up from his computer, Clara, I'm a genius, you're average. How could you ever hope to catch up to me? Boss, didn't you say you wouldn't scold me anymore? You call that scolding? Am I not allowed to be honest? Fine, my bad. I won't say it again. You said that yesterday. Clara, you're getting a bit pushy. Normally, I only let my girlfriend push me like this. Boss, I'm going back to work now. Dinner tonight? Sure. Nathan smiled slightly. Get to it then. The end.